Good morning, UDressers. If you don't know me, my name's Shannon Callery. I'm the director of the advertising team. Sorry we couldn't get on our conference call. I actually haven't been feeling very well, and I know a couple people had some conflicts, so I just thought best we could have a video. Plus, you could rewatch it if you had any questions, then you can just always email me anything that's on your mind. So I'm just going to go over the steps you're going to take starting tomorrow and then leading up until February 15th about contacting advertisers. So by now you all should have been shared on the Google document that lists out all of your advertisers. So there will be a company name, and next to it will be your name, which means you're assigned to that advertiser. So essentially your job is to contact this advertiser either by email or phone or both in a lot of cases in order to see if they're interested in advertising with us for the spring issue. Now, some of these advertisers are returning, some of them are new, and we're trying to recruit all of them. We're trying to get past advertisers to re-up with us. We're also trying to get new companies to join up with us for the first time. So you will have any one of those kind of situations. You also have been shared on something that's called the master contact list. So this is essentially a document that has a bunch of different emails and phone numbers on it for different businesses. So over the years, we've accumulated all this contact information that's often better than just going through the corporate email, the corporate number. By building relationships and lasting partnerships with these companies, we're able to get to know them on a more personal level, which makes your job a lot easier in terms of contacting them. So always look up and see on that list if there is a contact info for your advertiser. If there's not, then that usually means it's a new advertiser, or we just have never gotten any kind of personal information from them. As you go through your contacting, please update that master contact list either with a new phone number, a new email, or just any new information that you may get so that future generations of advertising team members will be able to contact them on a more efficient way. So make sure you look at that before you start contacting. Once you figured out how you're going to contact them, I always think email is a better way to start. It's a little bit faster, and people tend to check their email more than their messages. So if you have an email that's listed as your preferred method of contact, I would try emailing them first. And what I would do is I would refer to the master contact template, which I am sending to you guys right after this video. So you should be getting it in your emails before I send out another email saying that the video is live. So look in that email, and you'll see a Word document that basically has a template that you can copy and paste into your email. What you can do then is then input the company name into the blank spots. Now, a lot of new time members, especially people that are working with companies for the first time, they like to use this because it takes a lot of the pressure off of formulating an email. Plus, it takes a lot of time with all the emails and phone calls you're going to have to be making over the next couple weeks. Saving some time with a template is going to be a lot easier. So if you want to look at that template, feel free to copy and paste it into your email, and then you can enter in the company into the blank space. If you're deciding that phone call is the best way to contact your company, either from what's listed on the master contact sheet or just your own intuition, your own personal style, that's completely fine. There's also a phone call template on the Word document that you can actually read off of if you're a little nervous about speaking or haven't done a lot of cold calling before. If you know the company for some reason or know someone and you want to make it more personal, feel free to write yourself your own personal template. If you want to write your own template that you can use just you going forward, then that's completely fine as well. Whatever you think represents your style the best, or you think is going to be the most efficient way to contact advertisers. So once you've contacted advertisers, you're going to want to update the Google Doc. Now, this is the same document that lists what companies you'll be advertising with and who you're assigned to. You also see going towards the right is going to see weekly progress. So you're going to want to post your progress in there every time you contact them. So for example, when you contact them tomorrow, the first day, you're going to write, 1/15, emailed for the first time, will follow up in a few days. And you're just going to want to put on there all your progress so that me, the team, the assistant director, everyone can know where you are in the stage of contacting them. And this is also where you're going to update if they decide that they want to buy a package or if they don't. So if you get a call, if you email a company and 2 days later they're like, we're not interested, keep us in mind for next semester. You're going to go into the document and you're going to completely gray out that entire row and just write in the progress for that week, 117, they decided they don't want to advertise with us, contact next semester. And then you're done with that advertiser. That advertiser has said to you, I'm not interested, thank you very much. And we'll keep them in mind for next semester. Now, in the more unlikely scenario that in 2 days you hear that, yes, we want to do this package at this time, we're ready to go, you're going to fill in that entire row with green. And then in another column next to the weekly progress, it'll say advertisement package or something along those lines. You're going to fill in what kind of package they want. Whether that be, an insert, if it's a table package, if it's a social media package, you're going to want to fill in that column with that information. So again, all of us on the team know where you are, where we stand, what we still have to get done. And if you have any questions about that, about packages or what to fill in, you can always email me. But I'm going to get to that a little bit at the end of this video. So make sure the important thing is always updating the Google Doc. That way it doesn't, if you have been contacting your advertisers, but then I go on and there's no progress updated, I'm going to think you haven't contacted anybody. So make sure that you're keeping that updated at all times. And if it's, a day or so that's, lives get busy, that's completely fine. Just try and keep it as recent and up to date as possible. So other than that, I think the most important thing is just learning the media kit. It doesn't have to be front and back. You can always have it open on a computer when talking on the phone with someone or if someone emails you a question. But just knowing the different types of things we offer and the different range of packages. One thing that we're offering brand new for the first time this semester is we're offering custom designed ads for different companies. A lot of the time we hear, especially from smaller companies, that they don't have the time to design an ad. So we're actually taking on that responsibility as the ad team. We actually have some very creative people on the team, myself included, as well as some of the members who have expressed some kind of frustration of not having any creative outlet. So this semester for the first time, we're offering custom design ads, which once we're all done with contacting all of our advertisers on the 15th of February, we're going to get started on any ad orders that we have in, which we'll explain a little bit down the line. But we do offer a lot of different packages, a lot of different options that can fit any kind of business need. And it's good to know just like what our price points are. If a business is saying, I really like the table package, but it's a little out of my price range, that would be a great time to mention, oh, well, we have an insert that's only $2.99. So just kind of knowing what our price points are, where things start. The social media supplement package, I think, is like a really good non-committal package. I believe it's only $50. Make sure you double check me on that, by the way. But I believe it's only $50, and they get a lot of social media coverage from our social media team. So definitely always bring that up as an option. We also really like to offer to advertisers who decide they don't want to advertise with us at all. We always say, would you be interested in putting some of our magazines in your store once they go to print? And that's another really good way to just get the word out there about UDress, get our readership up. And who knows, maybe the company will look in the magazine and say, wow, this is really cool, which of course they will. They'll say, this is really cool and we want to advertise next semester. And I think the number one thing you can do is always keep it professional. Always keep a really good reputation and relationship with people, even when they say no. We like to pride ourselves in having really long-lasting relationships with these companies. Now, do all of them advertise with us every single semester for 10 years? No. But a lot of times what will happen is companies say, you know what, we're not going to advertise this semester, but they end up advertising the semester after. So just because it's not consistent all the way through, they say no to you this time, doesn't mean it's no forever. And we don't want to burn any bridges or ruffle any feathers. So just try and keep as professional as possible. Even if they get agitated with you on the phone or you get frustrated because they're not answering your calls or not emailing you back, just try and stay as upbeat and positive as possible and making sure you keep a good face for UDress Advertising, because it's really hard to get an advertiser, but it's really easy to lose them. And once we've lost them, it's really hard to get them back. So having those really good professional relationships with people is not only something that's going to be really good for the future generations of UDress advertisers, but it's going to be good for you too. And to have that skill for the real world and you can put it on your resume, that you know how to work with companies, even in tough situations. So make sure you just always keep, your head up and keep a good face on the team be really great. A good example, is I one time we used to try and advertise the Duck Donuts, and we had this really bad experience with them, and they got very agitated, and just remember that to always keep a good face on our organization. So no matter how mad they get with you on the phone, say things along the lines of, I understand, thank you so much for your time. Let us know in the future if you're interested in any kind of advertising opportunities. So just remember, that no matter how uneven they get, we need to keep the cool head, and we need to be calm and collected and united as a team across keeping the reputation of UDress alive. And then after you hang up, feel free to go punch a pillow, scream, whatever you want to do. Just when we're dealing with the businesses, just try and keep it as professional as possible. And I think that's all I had for you on that end. I guess the only thing else is just make sure that you're following up with your advertisers. So don't just contact them tomorrow and like once a week. Just keep on them, I'd say try and contact them 2 or 3 times a week. Use your discretion, of course, if you get on the phone with someone and said, I'm going to let you know exactly a week from today if we're going to do it. Don't call them in between. Wait a week, and if they don't hear from you, then call them back. So just use your discretion. You're all very smart. You have a lot of common sense. Just keep on them as much as you think they need it. And you know what? Hey, if you send 3 emails and they don't answer you, try a phone call. Or if you call them 3 times, try an email. Try and just find a way to creatively problem solve the inevitable no answer or no response that we get from a lot of advertisers. We actually had an advertiser last semester who we didn't hear from for an entire month, and we contacted them the whole month and nothing happened. And then the day before the deadline, they got back to us and said, we are interested in this package, sign us up. So it will happen. And another point is to know when an advertiser has been contacted enough. So if it's been like 2 weeks, you sent about 3 or 4 emails, left 2 or 3 messages, and you haven't heard anything at all. This happens a lot with corporate companies, companies that are in the mall. You're going to send requests up the corporate ladder and hear nothing. I recommend at that point saying, you know what, I've contacted them, I've done my part, I will keep that door of communication open, but I'm going to focus time on other advertisers, either advertisers you've heard from and haven't heard anything back, advertisers you need to follow up with, or we have a whole list of people we would like to contact that no one was assigned to. So I can always give you more advertisers, and I highly encourage that. So definitely knowing when a advertiser has been contacted enough and it's time to move on is another really important skill that I feel like new members have a hard time learning because it's tricky. It's when have I really contacted them enough? If in your gut is saying, I've sent enough, I've done enough, it's time to move on, then it probably is. Now, not shutting that line of communication off. If you get an email of them a week after you kind of stop contacting them, it's not, oh, I'm done, I'm not going to answer that. No, of course answer that. But my point is spend your time on advertisers who have a genuine interest in our program and in our magazine, and just keep the other ones on the back burner. But definitely give everyone up front equal treatment and equal contact. And then going forward, just kind of like weed out who's really interested and who's really not. So other than that, I think that's all I have for you guys. So just to recap, number 1 tips, use the contact template, especially if you're nervous about sending emails or cold calls. Really easy to fill in information. Keep the Google Doc updated. It has on it the advertisers you're assigned to and also weekly progress reports. Make sure you keep that updated. Date next to your progress, like what progress it is. So date, 1/15, 1/17, 1/19. And even if it's all in the same week, just keep it dated so we know where your progress is. And make sure you follow up with advertisers. Make sure you're sending a good amount of emails and then a couple phone calls. And then always keeping that professionalism at its utmost. Is probably the hardest part of your job, but also the most important. And remembering to offer them all kinds of different options. That's why we have so many packages. And also knowing when an advertiser has kind of been tapped out and it's time to move on. And we have a lot of different businesses we like to contact, and we'd really like for you guys to contact them and get to them if you can. So that's all I have for you guys, pretty much the lowdown. So starting the 15th, we'll expect you to contact them initially. You can use the template, make your own, whatever works for you. Send them an email, phone call, whatever you think's best. Most people start with an email, and let them know that we're super excited. And make sure you're attaching the media kit to the email. And then we'll go over, send an email about contracts and getting them signed with contracts, because that's its whole different ball game. So that's all you guys need to know for now. So get contacting. Of course, let me know if you have any questions. Also, Lee Dietz, she should be CC'd on your email. She's your assistant director, and she's amazing, and she'll be your director for the next year. So I highly recommend contacting her and getting to know her, because she knows a lot about this team and a lot about your job. So definitely, I'm always open. Lee's always open for questions. I'll be sending an email out with the video link and some other information in it. And I hope this all proved very helpful for you, okay? So let me know if you have any other questions, and I hope you're excited to kick off the advertising season, okay? All right, bye, guys.